the olden times, trying to figure out what is actually going on.
It's a murder mystery.
It is a murder mystery. Well, we don't even know that yet, honestly. I mean, there are homeless people being
like
disappearing, and we find out that they're going to a crematorium, but they're not necessarily getting cremated. And so we're just trying to figure out actually even what's really going on.
Yeah. I like that book a lot. I like the spirit character a lot, but a lot of times it really does come down to the artist doing it. Darwin Cook did him very well. I'm trying to remember another artist that probably did a pretty good, but like Francavilla, you can't go wrong. Not
at all. And there's at least 2 or 3 good, just amazing splash pages in each issue. We're up to issue 3 now. We are current. I'm current. We're current in club. And some new characters were introduced in issue 2. And it's just it's a fun little ride.
Right on. Well, I'm going to check that out or stay with it. And I got one more book to talk about, and then we're going to go into some travels. So this came out last week. I saw the creative team involved, and I was like, "Oh, this is intriguing." And then I read the cover looked really intriguing, and then I read the synopsis. And the synopsis basically is a Freaky Friday between a housewife named Juniper, who her husband calls Junebug, as you would, and a assassin killer, like a straight up killer, and a Freaky Friday. That is the hook there. It
sounds a little like Lady Killer, but not really.
Oh, not it's like this poor Juniper is so put upon. Her husband, who is an engineer, has invited his boss over for dinner. She should have the chicken in the oven already, but she's still at the market when the Freaky Friday happens.
Oh no, tell us more.
And the main character, so she's a main character, and then the other main character, he just came back from a job where he kills a guy who he grew up with, but wasn't necessarily the best friend, but like got really ugly. The art is a little on the computer generated side, but the story is just, and I don't know how many issues something like this could go on. Written by Gail Simone with art by Cat Stagg and published by Image Comics. It's called Crosswind. And it was a fun first issue. Like I said, it's not all ages. It's very gory. There's some back and forth, and you get it's almost a little bit. And this is maybe on my mind because we watched it on like late Friday night. John Wick, like the one character is John Wick, and the other character is like I said, like this like put upon housewife with depression issues, and she's very, very pretty, and so she's getting hit on by all the wrong people, including some of the high school kids. It is a romp, and I'm totally enjoying it. I'm looking forward to issue 2. It's called Crosswind. So we're gonna put a little scary music to that.
Scary music. Whew. There's no scary music. Oh, there is the scary music. I'm scared.
All right,
that does sound pretty good, though. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah, so check it out. Crosswind.
Will do.
Now, Chase, you got any more books for us?
Oh, probably, but...
We could do this all night. This is just like...
Freeform.
Freeform.
Obviously, I know you haven't talked about it yet, or did you? No, you have not. Daniel Warren Johnson's Extremity up to issue 4 just came out.
Oh, I love that book.
That is a great book. That is a good. It's not your average revenge story, as he kind of says in the back matter of issue 4. I know you're all reading it, so I don't even need to tell you about it. But
give us a little up.
It is. It's a great. It looks great. He's writing, drawing it, and then obviously I don't have it in front of me, and there is somebody else who's actually coloring it. and it's a story about back in an old war where this one tribe's leader's daughter gets her hand cut off. She used to be a great artist. Now she's not. She's struggling with that. She's trying to get revenge. The dad's trying to get revenge. The son, who the father believes should obviously carry on the lineage of revenge, is deciding to go in a different way, a more humane, why can't we all be friends way. And dad and sister actually don't necessarily agree, and other things happen, and they actually split up at this point.
Yeah, the other stuff that happens is like that's the human part of it. The other stuff that happens is more of this fantastical, magical part of it, because there is a robot that has batteries that could power the robot or power up this other thing that's a giant weapon, and that's where the father and son sort of pass ways. It's a really good book. It looks really, really... I like reading it for the art, but the story kind of like... The first 2 issues were really, really solid. The 3rd issue kind of waned, but we're on to a 4th issue, and I think the 4th issue was the best so far. So check that one out. It's called Extremities, Daniel Warren Johnson. Yeah. Alternative pop rock.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like we should be in a Frankie and Annette movie on a beach somewhere.
It's hot enough.
It is, as we should be, as we were saying.
So that was everything on my list.
Okay.
So we go out with some In Your Travels?
Already? Is it that time for some travels?
We've been recording for 13 minutes.
Woo! What else have you been reading?
Well, I've also read a Batman book just recently.
We just talked about that, though.
Oh, but all I'm reading right now is Batman. So I can't talk anything about Batman, but I did read Batman 24, and I talked in my Recent and Decent last week, I talked about Batman 23, and Batman 24 has no tendrils touching into Batman 24. What the F? Come on. Like, I want to know more about Batman's romantic life with Selena Kyle, who he asked to marry. And the story does not pick up there. The story is actually an Enigma story written by Tom King. I forget who the artist is. I don't have it in front of me exactly. But it's an Enigma story. It's an Enigma Joker team-up story to draw Batman out. We've seen this one before, but very, very violent. This first issue, or I guess it's not a first issue, it's Batman 24, is Enigma being interrogated and getting out of that particular situation, escape style, very gory, hooks up with Joker, another bad decision by Enigma. That is Batman 24, written by Tom King and art by, help me out, Kindle. Book details.
Glad you weren't asking me to help you out, 'cause I'm not sure. Where's the technology?
Mikel Janin. All right, okay. So Batman 20... Oh, I'm sorry, Batman 25.
25 even. Woo.
More scary music.
Yeah.
All right, Chase, what's next?
An older book, actually 2012-ish. One that I read.
Freeform,
exactly. Read the entire series. It unfortunately wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be, and I know we don't want to necessarily talk about stuff we don't like.
No downers.
It's not a downer. It's just not an upper. Called One Hit Wonder.
Oh, you guys are passing this around right now. I haven't read it yet.
This is Going Around Club. Finished that last week. Story about a childhood actor who has a calling to be a hitman. with the great little pun about one hit wonder. Set in Hollywood, he knows everybody. He has an agent. He has an agent for his acting and an agent for his kills. And it's entertaining. He just decides from a very young age. I don't know if it's because he's getting picked on at school a lot because he is a childhood actor, but he wants to be a mobster. So we learn a lot about him getting into the mob, him becoming a mobster, becoming part of the family, leaving the mob, and then coming back. So it's actually quite entertaining. I was kind of hoping it would be a little better on that.
All right, keep going, Jace, because I want to find out if this is actually, maybe I'll put this in the show notes if it is in fact available on Comixology.
On your Comixology.
So you could check it out for yourself. It's called One Hit Wonder. All right.
And gets drawn back into the family. Which leads him down to Florida, and it's very film TV centric. So actually, the cover of issue 4, it's a 5-issue miniseries. Cover of issue 4 is a Miami Vice ripoff, which is pretty funny, with his high school, or not high school, but his elementary buddy who went with him to become part of the mob. It's fun. It's very fun. It's not super fantastic, but it is very fun.
I'm looking forward to reading the entire series, and it's called One Hit Wonder. Who wrote it?
I could not tell you any information on it other than that.
I don't have it in front of me. All right, so I want to talk about an In Your Travels. Let's bring this train home.
Coming into the station here?
Coming into the station.
All right, what do you got?
In Your Travels. I have 2 In Your Travels. Check out, maybe find a theater that's playing both these movies and do a double feature. The first one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which we went on, well, maybe the second weekend after it opened. And I have been talking about that pretty much nonstop for 3 weeks now. And the other movie that I can't stop talking about is Wonder Woman. This has surpassed that stuff that they did 2 years ago with the Dawn of Justice. It is so good. Do yourself a favor, in your travels, stop by your local Cineplex and pay the whatever it costs to watch these movies on the big screen, because they're not going to come back unless you do.
Unless you do. Funny little story about paying whatever it cost. A fellow co-worker of mine happened to be in New York when Wonder Woman came out. And so he went and saw it in New York theater in that new 4D whatever that they're doing. What
is 4D?
They add an extra dimension of audio or something. It's weird. It's like
actually hit you?
They actually punch you in the face. Tickets were $25 a piece.
Yes, that's what you need to pay to be entertained. They're not going to make those movies if you don't pay.
And they're definitely not going to keep making them if they don't make any money.
That's right.
But so, in Your Travels, for me, is the new Jeff Lemire tome. It's a pretty good-sized book.
Oh, I love this book. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You do know exactly what I'm talking about, which is it's called Roughneck. I have yet to write it, hence it's in your travels or on deck, whichever way you want to word it. It's a full, almost 300 pages of classic-looking Jeff Lemire, tug at your heartstrings, small town hero story, without the hero being an actual hero per se. He's just it looks like the synopsis about it being small town guy has to save a sister.
That's exactly what it's about. It's really good.
Looking through it reminded me a lot of Essex County, which is probably in my top 5, if not top 1, 2, maybe.
So this is a graphic novel written by Jeff Lemire, Good stuff.
Drawn by Jeff Lemire.
John. Yeah, that's the strong point.
Yeah,
there.
it's very reminiscent of Essex County.